Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is the holiday season, y'all. Almost Thanksgiving and almost Christmas, and we are making sweet potato pie. This is what we're starting off with today, y'all. We have 2 eggs, we have a half cup of white sugar, and a half cup of brown sugar. You're gonna need 1 stick of butter for this recipe. Now, we're making pie, y'all, so the amount of sugar is totally up to you. Right in the back, we have vanilla bean paste. We also have some orange extract in the back, and we also have some canned carnation milk. We have 2 very large sweet potatoes. This is going to make 1 pie. It can stretch to 2, but I'm making just 1 today. First, you want to start off by boiling the sweet potatoes. Do not peel the skin before you boil them. You want to make sure you keep the skin on. It's going to help keep your sweet potatoes moisturized. And once they are tender, like they are right here, you're going to peel them and put them into a mixing bowl. So right now, I'm actually I just got finished mashing up the sweet potatoes because I'm going to prepare to add my ingredients now. You want to melt down that stick of butter, just as I did here, and add all of that butter to this mixture. Next, we are adding the sugars. This is the white sugar and the brown sugar. Now, this is a half a cup each. I started out with just a half a cup because, of course, I don't want to make the sweet potato pie too overly sweet, but I don't want it undersweet either. You know, it is a pie, so it needs to have some type of sweetness. So I started out with just half a cup. You want to take your mixer and then you just want to blend all of the sugars into the sweet potatoes very well. As you can see here, I'm using my soft bacon rubber spatula to just get my mixture back down into the bowl. You know, when you're mixing, it's going to splatter everywhere. You want to make sure everything is in one place and make sure you blend up again. You just want to make sure all of that sugar is dissolved into your sweet potato. Next, it's time to add the bourbon vanilla bean paste. Now, the vanilla bean paste is different from the vanilla extract because vanilla extract is more mild. This is going to give you a more bold flavor. You know, when I'm cooking, I'm all about flavors, guys. So this vanilla bean paste actually contains the seeds directly from the vanilla bean. So it's going to give it a more rich taste. It's going to be more intense and more vanilla flavor. So I'm taking about a teaspoon of the paste. The paste is actually more of a thicker consistency. So it may be a little ooey and gooey coming up out of the jar, but you're going to add about a teaspoon of this into your sweet potato mixture. Now, if you need a little more, you can always taste it to see if your flavors are there. If your flavors are there, you can just stick with the teaspoon of vanilla flavor, or you could just add a little more. Next, we are adding the orange extract. Now, this is something that you don't really see added to sweet potato pie very often, but we are taking this up a notch. And right after that, you want to go ahead in with your cinnamon. If you're not fond of cinnamon, you can just use nutmeg or allspice. Next, we are adding ginger. This is going to give it a very cozy and warm, a very distinct fall-like flavor. Next, you want to add your allspice. This is just a blend of cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. So you don't need a lot of that. You already have enough cinnamon. I'm just pretty much just adding it for that nutmeg flavor. And then you want to just go ahead and blend all of those spices into your sweet potato. At this time now, you want to taste your sweet potato mixture. You want to make sure you have enough sugar. You want to make sure you have enough of that vanilla flavoring, enough orange extract. If you should need anything, now is the time to add it right before you add the eggs. Once your flavors are to your liking, you're going to go ahead and add your eggs. Make sure your eggs are room temperature. This will allow your mixture to be more creamier and smooth. Also, guys, I'm not sure what happened, but right after I added my eggs, I added about 1/4 of a cup of the canned carnation milk as well. You want to make sure you add that right before you add your mixture to your pie crust. Now, I baked my pie crust in the oven for about 10 minutes before I'm adding my mixture. And right now, what I'm doing is dusting a little bit of cinnamon onto my crust just to give it a little bit more flavor. Now it's time to add that mixture to your pie crust. You are going to go in with the first process of this recipe, and that is by go ahead and place it into a preheated oven at 350 degrees. Now this pie is going to take about an hour to cook. Right now I'm just smoothing out the top part, making sure everything is even on all sides of the edges, if that makes sense. I want to make sure that the pie is nice and smooth and not lopsided, because you don't want a lopsided pie. It should look just like that. 45 minutes or so, and then I'm going to show you the next step. Now, this sweet potato pie is on steroids, y'all. So we are adding some texture by adding some Honey Crisp apple granola. Now, I have never seen sweet potato pie made like this before. This is actually an experiment. I'm going to see if it's something that my family enjoys. So the granola, as you can see, is pretty large in size. So we don't want to add these big old chunky pieces of granola right onto the top of the pie. It's going to be pretty hard to eat. So I just took a small Ziploc bag, and what I'm doing right now is I'm actually crushing that granola and dried apple pieces into very small pieces. I'm almost kind of making it like a dusting, because you're still going to have that crunch that you need. So I'm just turning it over, flipping it on each side, making sure I crush it up really good. So we're going to add this granola to the top of the pie once it is halfway done. I did not want to put this on first because we don't want that granola to burn. It's only going to take a few minutes for it to toast in the oven. So while we're waiting for our pie, we're going to make sure this is nice and crushed. And then I'm going to show you the next step. Our pie is now halfway done. As you can see, it is starting to brown and get a little dry along the edges, which is perfect. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm just taking that granola and I'm adding it to the top of this pie. Now, there's no special ways to add this granola. It may look a little messy right now. All you need to do is just make sure it's on there evenly as possible. And you're just going to add as much as you want. I'm not going to add a whole lot. I'm just adding enough so that every bite has a little bit of that texture. And it should look just like that. You're going to place this in the oven for about another 10 minutes. And there you have it, guys. Your apple granola sweet potato pie is now complete. Absolutely delicious, guys. And this is pretty different. It may not be for everyone. I can say if I had to critique this recipe, I would use less granola next time. My family did say it was really good, but less granola would have been a little better. So this was my first time making this recipe, so that's just a pointer. Just make sure you go in light if you wanted to try it, but it did take this recipe up a notch. It was actually nice just having that crunch in every single bite. And the apple flavored granola paired very, very well with this recipe. Also, the orange extract was absolutely perfect. So if you want to try a little something different this holiday season, I will definitely recommend this recipe. I hope all of you take care, be blessed, and stay safe, guys. Bye.